Hi guys, so I feel like this is appropriate because all my investment accounts are underwater, so maybe I need this. Welcome back for another fun, exciting to me, interesting to me anyways, video about tariffs and all that good fun stuff. Sorry if this is boring to you. It's personal to me, and it has to do with actually how I do my finances and how I've retired early and am trying not to go broke. And it's been hard under Trump, but maybe I'll do a whole video series on that some other day. Not today. Anyways, did you see the news? Trump's morning buy call. He's telling everyone now is the time to buy the markets, and then after that, Trump caves to President Musk. Did I say that right? Anyways, Trump caves to his billionaire controllers, like Musk, and he's pausing everything and doing this and that. But he did give you a heads up for market manipulation, so that all the billionaires out there, all the rich people with the money who have money to throw in the markets, he told them, go ahead and buy now. He gave them a heads up to go ahead and put money in the market so they can get even richer. And that, my friends, is how the stock market is controlled. So what Trump did is manipulating the market and allowed the rich Americans that have lots of cash, it allowed them to time his pause of this trade war. That way they can dump all their money in there and get super rich. I mean, the rich people control almost all of the market anyways. They own almost all the stocks, 80% or something like that. So now, thanks to Trump, they've gotten a heads up on the market. They were able to make a crap ton of money on this, and that is how the rich help the rich. That is how the rich get richer, and that is how the poor get poorer. The 160 something million Americans that are losing their shirts and their retirement accounts and their investments. Sorry, that's America. That's the way it is. But don't get mad. Do not get mad. This is what America voted for. This is what you wanted. This is what you asked for. And he told you he was going to do it on the campaign trail. He told you this is what he was going to do to you, and he's done it. So he made good on that that campaign promise. He made good on that one. So you're welcome, guys. But if you follow business news, then you've seen some of the reports. Consumer sentiments way down, business investments way down. Delta earnings came out yesterday, and in there, their discussion is that business travel in America way down. They're yanking guidance on earnings and this, that, and the other. Also, Walmart put out a big warning as far as their earnings and stuff like that. So that's the beginning of America going into a recession. And you did see Trump. He's caving on that. He's giving in, because the fact is that what he's doing is destroying America. America did this to ourselves. Our trade imbalances ourselves. We sent those jobs overseas. We sent the jobs. We sent the manufacturing. We sent all that over the seas. We did that to ourselves. And if you watched my last video, I showed you a couple graphs showing you that the trade imbalance isn't quite what it looks like, because like all the profits from those things, we're using the labor and having all this stuff made really cheap in other countries, and then we bring it here and we mark it way up and sell it to you. So all the profits and the taxes, almost all that money is staying in America. So the trade deficit isn't as bad on America. It's not as bad on American business. It's not as bad on the American government. It's not this huge catastrophe that they're making it out to be. And here's a point on that. Okay, so the government, the Trump administration, and the Republicans are also working on next year's budget, or this year's budget. I don't know, they're never on time. But they want to raise the debt ceiling. They want to raise that $5 trillion. The U.S. Trade deficit is roughly $1 trillion. So no problem raising $5 trillion. This $1 trillion trade deficit, that's the end of the world, though. If you do the math, it doesn't compute, okay? It does not compute. And mentioning math not computing, let's take another look at these tariffs. It's been in the news, it's been in a few things. I've done my research, I'm looking at this. I did the other video on the Philippines where Trump is saying that there's 34% tariff that the Philippines is charging America and this, that, and the other. And I did my research on that, and was it like 10%, something like that? And like this doesn't compute, and it was throwing me off. And so I did more research, and then I also saw a couple of news articles, and I will put up some of Trump's tariff math somewhere right into here, somewhere. I'm gonna put that into here in post editing. But okay, so yeah, his math is making every economist in the world raise an eyebrow because it doesn't compute. If you try to use the math that they're using to calculate these tariffs and retaliatory tariffs, if you try to use that math like in your taxes in the IRS, you're probably going to jail, because it's not acceptable. It's not accepted anywhere that the math they're using is true or correct or reasonable. You would find yourself in jail if you tried to use Trump's math. His tariff numbers, essentially what I'm trying to tell you is his tariff numbers are fake news. His supporters will not take the time to research this and to learn and to see, oh gee whiz, maybe they're lying to us. Maybe politicians are lying to us. They won't take the time to do that. They're just going to be like, get mad. If you look at one of my other videos, there was a comment in there talking about someone who's in the Philippines wanting to buy a Harley Davidson in the Philippines and how expensive it is, and they're sticking it to America, this, that, and the other. Well, the thing is the person who put that comment is buying into the fake news and not doing their research. And I'm not trying to pick on you, bro. It's just the truth. Okay, what it is in the Philippines they have a VAT, which is a value-added tax. You have like your 10% tariffs. You do have some luxury type tariffs, but you have VAT, which is a value-added tax. And I believe it was in around 2018, Philippines redid a lot of their tax system, and the people here making under like $365 a month, no income tax. That's one of the changes they made. And if you remember my last video, the average Filipino makes $350 a month. So the average Philippine worker has no income tax. So the way they get money here, they've implemented the VAT, value-added tax, and that essentially is more of a sales tax. So if you're one of the poor people, if you choose to save your money, you're not paying those taxes. If you're going to go out and spend your money, then you're going to pay more of your money in that VAT. And so what you have is Harley Davidson here is a luxury item. An automobile with 4 wheels in this country is a luxury item. You are going to pay a higher tax because those are luxury items in this economy, in this country. But they did cut down the income tax, so the average Filipino, no income tax. But you want to come here, you want to be an American, you want to retire here, you got a lot of money, you want to drive a Harley, yep, you're going to pay for it. But that is not sticking it to America, okay? It's the VAT. Everyone pays that. If you're a Filipino, if you're a lucky rich Filipino and you want to drive a Harley, you pay the same VAT. If you're an American that comes here with your money and you want to drive a Harley, you want one of these things, whatever, you want to drive a Toyota Fortuner, which is like a 4Runner, you're going to pay the VAT. You are going to pay that tax. That's how the government is here. That's how it works. If you don't like it, go home. People like to say that. You don't like it, go home. So always wanted to use that line. But anyways, but no. And the kicker to it is that I did not get an answer. I reached out to the local Harley dealership here and no response as of the time of finishing this. But the closest plant that actually makes Harley motorcycles here is in Indonesia. So the Harley Davidson motorcycle you're buying in the Philippines is probably not American. And there's no additional extra sticking it to America taxes on it. What you're actually paying, you're paying taxes for a luxury item here, and you're paying the VAT, value-added tax. Those are taxes that anybody here, you're a foreigner, you're a Filipino, you are paying those. It's not a trade tariff, it's nothing against trade. it is the only trade is it's a trade-off so that the majority of Philippines are not paying income tax. So that's an idea, an example, shall we say, of how fake news spreads. Trump puts the big thing up there with the fake tariff amounts, and his followers, they don't question it, they don't do their own research, they don't do their own homework, they just believe it, and then the rage and the mad starts. And that's exactly what politicians want from you. You're a sucker, and you're suckering into their game. Either side, it doesn't matter. You know, when Biden was president, he was saying, well, this Trump, and the news pointed out, if you bother to look, that he was using deceptive numbers on some of his things, trying to make himself look better than Trump's first term on stuff like that. So I'm not pointing at Trump, I'm pointing at politicians in general. If you are going to just believe a politician and you're just going to take the word of a politician, you're a sucker. End of story, you're a sucker. No matter who you follow, you're a sucker. Anyways, okay, so Trump has dropped he's dropping a lot of this trade war, which is good, because the problem is that the numbers that he's using to do all these trade balancing things, it's all fake. So you're going to have countries pushing back, fighting back. You're not going to win. All you're going to do is put America into a recession or a depression. If you want to fix jobs in America, this is not the way to do it. We've spent the last 40, 50 years sending jobs overseas, getting rid of all that infrastructure. There are so many things that if you want to buy American, you can't buy American. You just can't buy American. It's not made there. The infrastructure is not there. The buildings are not there. The machining is not there. If you want to bring this back to America, then you need to invest in America. You need to build the factories. You need to bring technology back. You need to do that. And that is going to take years, maybe decades. That's going to take years. You're not going to flip a switch and say, okay, you have 30 days for the world to bow to America. It's not going to happen. Even if American companies want to do that, they cannot do it that quick. Here's my next point, okay? As a former business owner for 15 years, I'm going to let you guys know a secret. I hope many of you already know it. Businesses make long-term plans. Businesses love doing 5-year plans. They get all the big heads in the room together, and they make plans, typically 5-year plans. What are we doing in the next 5 years? They make all their big capital purchase decisions, planning, all that stuff. They do that. And in order to do that, you need stability in your country, you need stability in your government, you need stability in the market, you need stability in the economy. As you are talking about multi-billion dollar investments that these large companies are making, and they don't do that on the whim of what is the trade tariff this week, it's up, it's down, it's this, it's that. Businesses don't function in that environment, and that's why you have a lot of businesses and people that are coming to Trump and they're yelling at him. That's why Elon Musk is calling Trump's trade advisor a moron and this, that, and the other. And I know the direct comment was about him trash talking the Tesla company, but he's also had other comments in there. But I'm glad that Elon Musk put Trump back on a leash. That's a good thing. That's a good thing for America, whether you believe it or not. So if you support this agenda, I think we all support our country being strong, economy being strong, good jobs. We all support that. But we have different methods of doing things. You know, there's a right way, there's a wrong way. If you have a mouse in your house, you have choices. You can put out a mousetrap, call an exterminator, burn your house down. You're going to catch the mouse either way. Either of those, you're going to catch the mouse. Trump's way is burn your house down. It works, but do you really want to do that? Is it the best way? No, it's not the best way. And here is another thing. My video I did on the tariffs in the Philippines, and I mentioned in there, that the Philippines are poor people. They don't have the money to buy American stuff. You're going to find some tariff balance, whatever that does whatever. It's not going to happen because the Philippines don't have the money to buy American stuff. And there was a comment on there that it said it's not about having them buy whatever, it's about making the playing field level or whatever, so it's the same, no tariff either way, or the same, so it's making sure it's level. The thing to look at here is when you look at Trump's fake tariff numbers that he did for the world, his fake numbers, because they are fake numbers. You can look them up and see, you'll see those don't match. Those don't match what he's saying. It doesn't match. That is about retribution. That's not making a balanced, fair playing field. That is America coming after and actually charging more than what the other country is charging, to try to make up for whatever we're losing on regular trade with them. It's trying to balance that out. It's not about fair trade, because in a fair trade, if your product is better than our product, your product's probably going to sell better, ours probably not going to sell as much. And that's fair, you have a better product. That is not what these tariffs are about. These tariffs are about, it doesn't matter if you have a better product, we're going to boost ours up above yours. We're going to use the tariffs to boost ours up, even though we have an inferior product, so that we're making more money. And that is not fair trade, but that is what these tariffs are designed to do. That is what it is about. So that goes back and actually vindicates what I was saying in that video. It is not about fair trade, and it is never going to be balanced, because the people in the Philippines and all these other third world countries and most other countries, they don't have the money to match the American consumers' spending. America's appetite for spending, the rest of the world doesn't have it or can't match it. So you're always going to have some sort of imbalance. If you're going to trade with the world, there's always going to be an imbalance, and that is the price you pay. That's the price America pays for being the richest country on the earth. That's the price you pay. Nobody else can quite match you, because you have more money than everybody else. So you have to deal with that. Sorry. That's my thought for the day. All right, catch you later. You have comments? Put it down below. Let me know what you think. Talk to me. Think I'm wrong? Tell me. But if you put a comment down here telling me I'm wrong, this, that, and the other, please back up with some actual real data. Or if I ask you a question in the comments and then you just don't ignore it. If you're going to ignore my reply back on something, like I'm asking you this here, okay, how do you think this is going to work, or whatever. If you're not going to answer and just spout off, then just go comment somewhere else, watch a different video. This is interesting to me, but it's also kind of entertainment. So if you want to interact, interacting is two ways. So if you put a comment down below, I will reply to it. I'll tell you what I think. I'll tell you I agree, I disagree, if why. But I mean, if you want to come back on that, just please try to keep the fake news out. Like, subscribe, share, follow along, any of those fun things. We'll see you guys in the next crazy video.